doing fine. It's a living life.
Namaste, friends, and welcome back to The Way Om Yoga. My name is Sarah. I have a 20-minute yin-style yoga practice prepared for you. And this class is just going to revolve around managing anxiety, managing fear. I know for a lot of us, and myself especially, there's a lot going on right now. Collectively, there's a lot going on, I believe, in our personal lives as well. So this class is just going to help you ground down. It's going to help you tune inward, come back to yourself so that you can have clarity, so that you can have confidence and security within yourself, within the body, and it's just going to emanate outward. So this class is going to focus on the kidney meridian, which in Yin style yoga, it's an energetic channel. If you want to learn more about like mapping in the body, especially in Chinese medicine, I highly recommend you Google kidney meridian and you can see some of the areas that we're going to get into here. But for the sake of keeping this short and condensed, I want you to grab the following props. So if you haven't done so already, grab a set of blocks, grab some water, grab some blankets. I'm actually sitting on a bolster cushion right now, so grab whatever you need and then meet me at your mat, okay? We're going to start off in one standing posture. So we're going to start off in a dangling posture, we call it in yin, but many of us who practice more yang style yoga know this as forward fold. So we're going to hold this for 1 minute. So notice I brought my props out in front of me. For some of us, we may want to grab a set of blocks for support for the hands. And notice I'm keeping a deeper bend in my knees, starting the time now for 1 minute. And I'm just going to simply let the head hang heavy, letting go of any tension, letting go of any stress in the body right now, anything that just doesn't serve me, anything that doesn't serve a purpose. And if it's comfortable, you can sway gently a little bit. So in this yin style practice, we're going to be taking more passive holds, and again, that's intentional to get into the deep connective tissue. And of course, if you want more detailed information about yin style yoga, I will put a link in my description to my other classes that I have for you, where I'll go into more detail about some of the key differences between yin style yoga and other forms of yoga. And the breath is just nice and natural here and flowing. And we're already out of this one, believe it or not. So, taking all the time that you need, we're going to roll up slowly till we're standing just one vertebrae at a time. Good job. So from here, we're going to set up for Malasana Yogi Squat. So I'm going to show you from an angle first what this posture will look like. So notice that my knees and my toes are turning outward here. And I'm going to squat here on my bolster cushion. Some of you may not need a prop at all. So just take what makes sense for you. If you want to use a yoga block, you can use that as well, or just a stack of blankets will do you fine. My hands are going to come together at heart center here, and I'm going to press my elbows against my inner thighs here, sitting up nice and tall. Now, if I were to take this from a forward facing direction, this is what the pose will look like here from the front, okay? So we're already in it, friends. We are gonna hold this one for about 3 minutes, okay? So if you need to come out of it for whatever reason, if you need to maybe shorten the stance a little bit, just do what you have to do. And again, we're just gonna tap into that kidney meridian that I had mentioned at the beginning of class, which rules the element of water. And you know, water, like our emotions, it can govern things like fear and anxiety. So when these energetic channels become congested, when they become clogged in any way, it can manifest as anxiety. It can manifest as fear of the unknown, and other imbalances. So just tuning inward to your breath. Sometimes I find it helpful to keep my eyes closed for this practice. And just knowing that you're just doing the best thing for your body right now. By tuning inward, by taking this time for yourself, you're showing up better for the people that you love. You're showing up better in this world. And you may find as time passes, you may be able to have, just like a little bit more ease. I find myself sinking just a little bit more into my cushion as I sit and kind of just marinate in this yoga pose. And again, if you need to adjust in any way, feel free to adjust. All right, y'all. I'm definitely feeling open in my hips now after that one. So from here, taking all the time that you need, what I like to do is kind of just like heel toe my feet so that they're facing parallel with each other. And really just take your time coming out of this. If you want to just dangle over the thighs for a second, that's fine too. And in fact, let's go ahead and set our props off to the side. And we're going to come to seated just to get a really brief counter pose before we continue. So we'll just take the knees side to side, so leaning back on the hands for support. And just kind of leisurely releasing that lower back, just twisting side to side. Well done. Okay. So from here, we're going to make our way into our next posture. We will be lying down on our bellies. So if you want to place a blanket down on your mat just to support yourself, you're welcome to do that. You can always place a bolster cushion underneath the abdomen or the thighs if you need that. But I'm gonna go ahead and come into our next posture, which is Sphinx pose. So just any way you want to make your way down onto your belly. We'll make our way there now. And just notice here, I'm resting on the forearms, elbows are bent, my gaze could be straight ahead. I'm resting on the tops of the feet here, and I'm going for some just mild sensation here in the lower back. So not too much, not too little, but just right. Finding that comfortable edge that we talk about so often in Yin style yoga. And from here, friends, we will hold this for 3 minutes, starting now. And again, if you need to come out of this pose for whatever reason, just take breaks as needed. And the gaze could be, looking straight down at the mat, straight ahead. If you want to take some like neck yin, you could take your neck in some small circles, going in one direction and then taking it in the opposite direction. That actually feels really good. You can even bring your chin in towards your chest. So you have some options here, friends. And what I love about Sphinx pose is not only is it a very gentle passive back bend, but it's getting right into that kidney meridian, right into that energetic channel. One of my favorite go-to poses for that reason. From here, friends, let's go ahead and lower all the way down onto our stomachs. We're going to get a brief counter pose before we move on from here. So you can bring your arms out in front of you and then just rest your head on the tops of the hands here. Let's bend our knees and just take windshield wipers from a prone position here. So just gently taking those knees side to side. It's also not uncommon to feel a little edgy coming out of these poses, but again, that's intentional. We're targeting the deep connective tissue in the body, and again, I explain that in further detail why that is in another video. So again, I will provide that for you in the description. Rest here for as long as needed, but if you're ready to move on, we're going to go ahead and add on from here. So, two options. You can either take Sphinx pose again if this was enough sensation for you, or if you'd like to add on, we're going to come up into seal pose. So it's going to look kind of like an upward facing dog. So I'm going to reach out through the forearms. My fingertips are going like in the direction of the corners of my yoga mat, kind of at a diagonal here. I'm pressing into the tops of my hands, and what's lovely about this, you can change the degree of sensation by walking your hands either further away or closer to you. Obviously, walking my hands closer towards my body is going to produce more sensation than walking my hands further away. So it's just up to you. Again, we're going to hold this for about 3 minutes in duration, starting now. And just listen to your body. If you need to maybe take seal pose for a minute, and then you could play with coming into Sphinx pose for the last 2. Whatever suits you. We're just going for that same general sensation in the lower back, focusing on that kidney meridian. We're also getting into the chest as well, into the forearms. If you really enjoyed taking that neck stretches, the neck yin that we did, you could take your head in one direction and then in the opposite direction. Again, just do what makes sense for you in this practice. And the goal is to find release. The goal is to identify where the congestion in our energetic lines resides and just let it flow free so that you can feel grounded, so that you can feel more secure, so that you can walk into this world with fearlessness. When I feel like everything around me is out of control, the one thing I can control is myself. How I conduct myself, how I move my body, how I choose to behave, how I choose to show up. And there's power in that. I forgot to mention that deep Ujjayi breath will get you through this. So just some deep inhales through the nose. And exhale. And again, I'm going to play around with the shape of this. I'm going to start to walk my hands forward just a little bit just to ease up. I'm definitely starting to feel some more sensation in my body. All right, my friends, that is time. So from here, we're gonna slowly make our way, ooh, I'm really feeling that one, back on to the belly. Take your time coming out of this one. I'm definitely feeling some edginess, but in a good way, in a very bittersweet way. Bring the forearms out in front of you. Let's just take those legs side to side once again, shall we? Nice, delicious counter pose before we continue on in our practice. All right, friends, let's just slowly make our way back to a seated position here. I've got one more pose for you all. So we are going to take a reclined bound angle pose, otherwise known as Supta Baddha Konasana. Now I'm going to place a bolster underneath my spine, starting at the lower back. However, if you have like a set of blankets or a yoga block and you want to place that underneath your sacrum, so the lower part of your back, you're welcome to do that too. The idea is I want you to find openness across the front of the body, but I also want us to continue with that theme of the lower back, right? Where that energetic center, that kidney meridian runs. So I'm going to go ahead and place the bolster back behind me and just take your time with this setup. Find what works for you. You could bring the legs straight out in front of you if you prefer. I like to bring the soles of the feet together for bound angle here before I come into this posture, and just take your time reclining back onto the forearms. And if you don't have any like bolster cushions at home, just get creative with what you have. It could be a stack of blankets, it could be a yoga block. Ultimately, what we're trying to get is kind of just a passive back bend here in this pose, right? We're targeting, again, that energetic line, that meridian line, that channel. And again, we're gonna hold here for about 3 minutes in duration. So if it's comfortable, you can close your eyes. You can just soften your gaze. And coming back to your breath always. And again, feel free to adjust as needed. If you need to straighten your legs at any point, you are welcome to do that. Again, just finding yourself minute by minute, second by second, just surrendering in the posture. Finding more space. Letting go of resistance. So in this practice, I did not include Shavasana. So if you want to remain here for a few more minutes, or simply just take your favorite Shavasana, or maybe a seated meditation, highly recommend that. But from here, we're gonna go ahead and transition out if this is all the time that you have, okay, friends? So I'm gonna just gently hug the knees in towards my chest here. If you wanna rock side to side, you can. And in fact, if you wanna just move that bolster cushion off to the side, and just enjoy this nice release for the lower back, maybe taking those knees in some small circles in one direction. And then change it up and go in the opposite direction. And then from here, let's go ahead and roll onto one side. We're gonna come back into seated. I'll close off the practice with you all. I hope that you feel like you've released some tension in your body. I hope you feel grounded. I hope you feel so good right now. And just know that I'm here for you all. We're all in this together. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for practicing with me. And until next time, namaste.